Hi, thanks for watching. Andy here. Let's take a look at the astrology as we go through the weekend. I do like to be outside on a nice day like this. It's actually warm enough in UK for a t-shirt. That is really remarkable at the moment, but there you go. We start the day, no big difference from yesterday really, except to say the moon entered Cancer late last night. Now, Cancer can be quite a touchy influence, and I don't mean in the sense of touchy-feely. It could be, people kind of worry a lot about the Cancer influence, and actual Cancer people can be a bit crabby, can be a bit, show a little bit more anger. I don't mean really angry and vexed, but Cancer people can show a little bit more anger than they really mean to. They tend to be nicer people than they give the impression of, so you've got to give them time. And we're all under the Cancer influence as we go through this weekend. It stays, the moon stays in Cancer until, let me see, Sunday the 20th actually, and then it enters Leo, but that's 10 minutes past midnight UK time, so that is actually 10 minutes past 4 p.m. Pacific on the Saturday, 10 minutes past 7 p.m. Eastern on the Saturday. But here in UK, it's going to be midnight 10 on Sunday. The Leo influence is a lot more cheerful, actually. People want to be out there a bit more, want to kind of show off a little bit even. But why not? If you worked hard on something, you've been getting it all together, and perhaps it's been a thankless task, I don't know. It's not a bad time to get out there and let people know when the moon hits Leo. So that's a good Saturday night one in the States and Canada. More of a Sunday one here in UK. It's quite a good time under a Leo moon to do anything that actually involves exposure. Some people have a slightly unhealthy desire to overexpose themselves, shall we say, but there's no real need to worry about that. Okay, elsewhere in astrology, as we go through the weekend, let's see. Today, Friday the 18th, Mercury is going to trine Saturn at 12:49 p.m. UK time. That's UTC +1 or GMT +1. 4:49 a.m. Pacific, 7:49 a.m. Eastern, and 12:49 p.m. here in UK. Mercury in Taurus trines Saturn. Now Mercury, we call it mercurial for a reason. If you've been watching this, you'll have heard the explanation a million times, so I won't bore you with it too much, but basically Mercury is the messenger of the gods, and sometimes the gods send us messages that we do not understand, and things can go a bit wrong. But it's always about learning. It's a nice positive alignment to trine, but the only thing there is Saturn, which is in Capricorn, is actually retrograde in Capricorn, and Saturn has much to do with our fears, unconscious fears, and actually real true out there fears in the real world as well. Saturn can tweak those and heighten them a bit, and that could kind of work with the Cancer influence a bit to make things more tricky, less predictable, or at least feel more tricky and less predictable. I'm not saying anything bad's going to happen. I mean, that's not what this is about ever. The planets themselves don't actually bring anything that happens, good or bad. They're just the times when these things come together. So if we keep to our path and we keep actually trying to understand these things, we will get there. We will have, less little hassles in Mercury retrograde, less fear from Saturn, that kind of thing. Also today, only half an hour or so after that, at 1:13 p.m. UK time, so that's 5:13 a.m. Pacific, 8:13 a.m. Eastern, so you might actually have been up for a while Eastern. Mercury is also going to square the true node, the North Node. Now Mercury is in Taurus at the moment. Taurus is good for getting things done. It's quite gentle if you need a rest as well. So it's not a really kind of worrying set of alignments, this at all. But squaring the true node, the North Node's about where we're going, what life means to us going forward, our plans for the future, our feelings about the future. A square is kind of, when there's a square, one of the powers involved is in some kind of conflict. I don't actually think that's going to be Mercury, but I think the North Node, as positive as it is, sometimes we might be going in the wrong direction and we get a nudge to go in it's only a slightly different direction because we're in charge of our lives, no question about that, but we might get a nudge in a different direction when Mercury is squaring the true node like that. That's just the way it goes. Okay, let's see what else is happening. I'll tell you the alignment today. It's the weekend astrology, but why not give the alignment right now? The moon is sextile Mercury, so Mercury is big in the picture, and Mercury is also trine Saturn. So Strange old time, strange old weekend. I can see influences of a very positive nature. I can see less positive influences. I can't see any ground negativity out there. But this is a set of alignments that is going to bring a certain amount of our own personal negativity to the surface. It's worth being really, really reasonable about that. Just think things before you say things. Take it easy, because none of us are really doing anything wrong, so to speak, but we do get a nudge in the right direction, and that to me is what this weekend is all going to be about. And then we get into Leo late Saturday, early Sunday, whatever. We get into the Leo moon, and it's a bit more cheerful. It's a bit me. We can have a bit more fun. We can be ourselves more. So that's the way it's headed, folks. I will be back on Sunday. Yes, I'll be back on Sunday with a look at the astrology for the week ahead. Meanwhile, thanks very much for watching. I'm sorry I'm not doing these daily here anymore. If you check out my other channel, Twig Brother, I am doing them on there. It's all got to do with the YouTube algorithm and trying to get people to see it. If you're a Ramones fan, hey ho, let's go. Thanks for watching. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, leave me a comment, we'll share the journey. Have a good one, folks. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.